Money Mindset.
I think that sounds alright.
This is Millennial Money Mindset. If you want the fruit, you need the roots. So today we're talking about money mindset. So what is money mindset? So stay right to the end and we'll give you one tip that, according to Harvard researchers, will double your money over a lifetime. So we're going to talk about money mindset. So my name's Neil Doig. I am the author of Millennial Money Mindset, if you want the fruits you need the roots, and the creator of Football Formation Asset Allocation. So what is money mindset? So we're just going to give you a brief introduction to money mindset, and it's because it's one of the most, or if not the most important things you need to get handled if you want to get your money sorted. If you want to reduce your stress, reduce your worry, and reduce your time that you're spending on how much you're spending your time on money, then money mindset is the most important thing that you can do. So what is money mindset? So it's your relationship to money. It's how you think about money. It's your emotional and how you're stressed and worried about money. So with my clients, I'm a money coach and I help clients and make better decisions with their money and empower them to make their own decisions with the money to save them from paying expensive financial advice fees. So what I do with my clients, I give them, at the start, I always give them a scale of 1 to 10 on a scale of money mindset. So 1 being really bad, where they're really stressed and worried about money, to 10 being that they never worry about money, that money doesn't even concern them. So it's like money mindset is like a spectrum. So you can, at the low scale, it's where you're stressed and worried about money, and at the high scale, it's where you don't worry at all about money. So you're watching this video, the aim of these videos are to help you reduce your stress and worry around money, to save money from your pocket, time in your day, and stress from your life. So let's go into it. Like, what is money mindset? So think of all achievement and all wealth begins as a single idea. So this comes from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and he's like the godfather, or the grandfather I should say, about money mindset. So his book Think and Grow Rich was kind of massively influential to both mine and many other people's kind of lives around money. So his book, essentially, he kind of wrote it in, I think the 1920s, or it was written like almost like 90 or 100 years ago. So it's really, but it's kind of stood the test of time. And he basically went and interviewed people, and the most wealthiest people in the USA, and he tried to work out how these people became wealthy and how these big people became rich. And he basically found out there was like 7 or 8 factors, and you can read all about it in his book Think and Grow Rich. But essentially he thought it was to do with people's mindset, or how people think about money, and is a number of different factors that he talks about. So he talks about having a burning desire, and having goals and aspirations really affect how your life is going to turn out. So he says, like, dreams are the seedling of reality. And he talks about how an idea in your brain, it's a bit like, think of it like the seed. It's like the oak tree sleeps in the acorn, the chicken sleeps in the egg, and the genius of your ideas and the way you think about money is and how you're going to build the next business sleeps in your brain. So all these businesses that are starting out today, or are essentially going to be the next big thing, are just created in someone's mind. So if you think back to kind of 10-20 years with Facebook or Amazon or Google, these all started with just someone kind of thinking about them in their mind and kind of creating them. But yeah, essentially it's not, you can't just, where I kind of went wrong with my journey, and I talk about this in my book Millennial Money Mindset, if you want the fruits you need the roots. Essentially you can't just think of it and things are going to magically manifest into your life. You've actually got to put the work in. You've got to do things daily that are going to actually kind of have these things to happen. So think of it a bit like, it's not my example, but someone else is better than that kind of explains it better than I do. Talks about, like, imagine the Empire State Building. So that had to be kind of conceived in someone's mind first of all. So someone had to think, right, let's build this giant skyscraper, and then someone's got to kind of build the plans, and someone's got to draw the plans and the architecture, and then you've got to actually go out and build it every day. So someone's got to have the resources, the material, and someone's got to have the expertise to know actually how they're going to build this building. Then you've got to dig the foundations before you can even lay the first brick. So these things take time. So as I'm learning this as well, building my own business. So anything of value takes time, and it's got to be, it's got to add value to people's lives. So this is a massive learning point through Think and Grow Rich, and this is essentially kind of one of the themes of my book, Millennial Money Mindset. So the mind is like a garden. So weeds will grow if you don't actively kind of weed them or think positive thoughts or think good thoughts. Then weeds are going to grow. So ideas are the starting point of all fortunes. So essentially, money mindset is how you think and how you how your relationship with money. If you think you're really bad with money, that's coming from a thought. And if you think you're really good with money, that's also coming from a thought. So this gets really deep and meaningful, and I go into it more into my book, Millennial Money Mindset. And I've actually studied this. I did a philosophy of the mind course at Oxford University, and it kind of goes in really, really deep. This is like super nerdy, but yeah, philosophy of the mind course, and it talks about consciousness and how essentially it goes into the structure of the brain. And I'm not a psychologist, but there's a really great work that's being done on psychology and how we think and act around our money. And it's being purposeful, being mindful rather than mindless with our money. And that's kind of boils down to money mindset. So money mindset is the most important thing you can do with your finances. So there was a book by Robert Kiyosaki, and he essentially says, and it's investing, it's not the Rich Dad Poor Dad book that he came out, I think it was his second or third book that came out with, it was Rich Dad Poor Dad Guide to Investing, and he basically said that your money mindset is 80% of everything around investing, whereas 20% is the technicals, or actually what you do or how you do it is only 20%. So he thinks that money mindset is 80% of everything to do with money, investing, business, your relationship, your savings. 80% is money mindset, and only 20% of it is how you do things. So imagine that, and that's why money mindset is so important, and that's why I wrote my book, Millennial Money Mindset, because it's the core principle of building wealth. So I was a trader. I traded gas for 7 years, and how you think and react around your money, if you don't getting stressed or worried about money or how the market is acting, is going to affect how you're going to make those decisions. So one of the things, there's a book called the Chimp Paradox, and it was written by a guy called Stephen Peters, and he's a psychologist and he's a doctor, and he's done much more kind of deep research into this. And he talks about there's a tri-brain model, and he talks about essentially the brain's being made up of 3 parts. So there's kind of the ancient reptile brain, there's kind of the kind of what he calls the monkey mind, which is kind of the repetitive task, and then he talks about the kind of the human brain, which is kind of the more evolved part of the brain. And I go more into this in my book, Millennial Money Mindset, in the kind of the psychology behind it. But it's really interesting how we're just discovering about and learning more about the mind and how it works, and it's super fascinating. And essentially money mindset is why you make these decisions and why you choose to do what you do. And there's loads of things that happen to us. Like if there's a crash in the market, then chemicals get released in our brain, and it's really fascinating how this can relate and how it can impact our investing and our trading. And it's super important to be aware of this. And once you have this awareness, once you become awake and understand this, then your investing and your trading goes to a much bigger level, and you reduce your stress and worry. So that's to summarize. So we talked about money mindset is essentially your relationship with money, how you think and worry, how you think and act around money. We talked about Think and Grow Rich, the book by Napoleon Hill, and we talked about the mind is like a garden, and if you think good thoughts, then you can grow trees and grow fruit for the future. If you think bad thoughts, then it can grow weeds, and essentially it can. And thoughts and ideas are the beginning part of all fortune. And then we touched on the tri-brain model as well, which is, I go more into it in my book, Millennial Money Mindset. If you want the fruits, you need the roots. And yeah, so the one tip that I would recommend is to set goals. So to improve your money mindset, all you need to do is write down your goals. And there was a study by a Harvard professor, Edward Banford, and he basically studied a number of different people, and he worked out that just by writing down your goals, you can double your money over a lifetime. Just imagine that. So you can, just by now sitting at home, if you write down your goals, how much you want to achieve and how much money you want to have in your life, that you can actually, the likelihood of that happening will double just by physically writing that down. So this has been Millennial Money Mindset. If you want the fruits, you need the roots. We talked about money mindset, and I go into it much more detail into my book, Millennial Money Mindset. If you want the fruits, you need the roots. My name's Neil Doig. I'm the creator of Football Formation Asset Allocation, the author of Millennial Money Mindset. If you want the fruits, you need the roots, and the director of Money Tips, which stands for Tax, Investment, Property, Pension, Savings. So what was your big takeaway from this video? Put in the comments below anything you'd want to add to it, any other books you've read. Have you read Think and Grow Rich? Have you read Rich Dad Poor Dad? Write yes in the comments below. Have you read Millennial Money Mindset? If you want the fruits, you need the roots. If not, you can buy it in the link below. You can get it on audiobook, you can get it on Kindle, or you can get the print version. So yeah, please like, please subscribe, and please tell one person about Millennial Money Mindset. If you want the fruits, you need the roots.
Money Mindset.
I think that sounds alright.